Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Tenderhearted Grayson Chrisley struggles with his parents' conviction. Todd Chrisley revealed during his most recent Chrisley Confessions podcast that his youngest son, Grayson, was struggling with his parents' conviction. What is Grayson struggling with exactly? Keep reading for the details. Todd and Julie Chrisley are drowning in bad press. During this week's podcast episode, Todd Chrisley noted that his family is pretty much drowning in bad press at the moment. As fans know, Todd and Julie were recently convicted of bank fraud and tax evasion. They are currently on house arrest as they await their sentencing. Their lawyer, however, did make plans to appeal the sentencing clear. Todd Chrisley told his podcast listeners that his family is no stranger to bad press. Sadly, it comes with the territory of being a reality TV star. He, however, admits they are a bit overwhelmed with the bad press. They've never experienced the volume of bad press they are experiencing right now following the verdict. Unfortunately, the negative press has gotten so bad that his son Grayson is struggling to cope with everything. Grayson Chrisley is struggling with the backlash. Todd Chrisley tells his podcast listeners that their son Grayson Chrisley is the sweetest child on the planet. He clarified that being that sweet comes at a price. His son Grayson also has a very tender heart. Todd explains that he and Julie had to protect Grayson over the years and pay extra attention to him because he's extremely sensitive. Being so sensitive and tender-hearted, Grayson has had a hard time dealing with all of the negative press surrounding his family. Todd Chrisley sat his son down and educated him on not putting so much value in the opinions and thoughts of people he doesn't even know. Furthermore, Todd Chrisley told his son he would be far happier if he paid that much trust and attention to God instead of strangers on the internet. In addition to Todd and Julie, all of their children have been popping up in the headlines as well. Grayson was spotted washing his very pricey vehicle outside of the home one day. Some media outlets bashed Grayson as being spoiled by his wealthy parents. Grayson has also landed in the headlines as fans wonder what will happen to him if his parents go to jail. It's no secret that the Chrisley family has been through more than its fair share of heartbreak. But for Grayson Chrisley, the youngest son of Chrisley Knows Best stars Todd and Julie Chrisley, the fallout from his parents' conviction has been particularly painful. Behind the confident smile and quick wit fans once saw on screen, Grayson's heart has been carrying the quiet weight of loss, confusion, and emotional turmoil. The 18-year-old, once known as the mischievous, athletic kid who could make his dad laugh with a single look, has suddenly found himself navigating adulthood under the harsh glare of public scrutiny, and without the daily guidance of the two people who meant the most to him. From family fun to a family torn apart. Before the cameras stopped rolling and the laughter faded, Grayson's life seemed like something out of a southern fairy tale. The Chrisley mansion was filled with banter, sarcasm, and Todd's signature one-liners. Whether it was Todd scolding Grayson for staying up too late playing baseball, or Julie teaching him how to drive, every episode showcased a family rooted in love, even if chaos was never far behind. But everything changed when Todd and Julie were convicted of bank fraud and tax evasion. The gavel came down hard, and the Chrisley empire crumbled almost overnight. Todd was sentenced to 10 years and Julie to 7, leaving their youngest son reeling. He's always been sensitive, a family insider once shared. Grayson might not show it on camera, but he feels everything deeply. Watching his parents go through this, seeing the headlines, the judgment, has been devastating for him. Trying to stay strong. When the news first broke, Grayson reportedly tried to keep his focus on school and baseball. He'd been working hard, hoping to make a name for himself outside the family's reality TV fame. But it wasn't long before the emotional toll caught up with him. In interviews and podcast appearances with his older sister Savannah, Grayson's raw honesty has shined through. He's admitted that he struggled to understand how his once picture-perfect family ended up in such a dark place. Everyone acts like they know what's going on, he said during one episode of Unlocked with Savannah Chrisley. But they don't see what it's like when you wake up every day and your parents aren't there. You can't just call your mom or dad. It's not something you ever prepare for. There was no hiding the heartbreak in his voice. While Savannah has stepped up as his guardian and emotional rock, even she has confessed that it's been a balancing act between being a big sister and taking on a parental too fast. For most teens, 18 is the age of freedom, college dreams, road trips, and first loves. For Grayson, it's been a crash course in survival. The boy who used to lean on his father's strict yet loving guidance is now forced to make adult decisions on his own. He's spoken about how surreal it feels to drive past the family's old home, remembering the laughter and Sunday dinners that once filled its halls. "It doesn't feel real sometimes," he said. "I still think they're going to walk through the door." The emotional toll has been heavy, but what's even more painful is how the world has watched it all unfold. Grayson has had to grow up while his family's private struggles became front-page gossip. Fans often forget that beneath the fame is a real teenager processing real trauma, finding solace in faith and family. Despite the chaos, the Chrisley family has held on to one thing that has always grounded them: faith. Todd and Julie's spiritual foundation has been a cornerstone of their lives, and Grayson seems to have inherited that same belief in divine purpose. While he may not be as outspoken as his father about religion, those close to him say Grayson often finds comfort in prayer and quiet reflection. "He's got that soft heart from Julie," a friend noted. "He's not angry, he's just heartbroken. But he believes everything happens for a reason." Savannah has encouraged him to keep moving forward, and together they've leaned on their older siblings, Chase and Lindsay, for emotional support. Though the family dynamic has changed, there's been a renewed sense of closeness in their shared pain. A son's love never fades. Todd and Julie's absence has created a void in Grayson's life that no one else can fill. Their weekly phone calls from prison are brief but precious, and Grayson never misses a chance to tell them how much he loves them. "He's protective of them," Savannah revealed. "He doesn't like when people talk badly about our parents. He knows they made mistakes, but he also knows their hearts." That loyalty is part of what makes Grayson so endearing to fans. While the media may focus on scandal, he reminds everyone that behind every headline is a son who simply misses his mom and dad. He often shares encouraging words about forgiveness and resilience on social media, offering glimpses of his growth and maturity. Gone is the mischievous little boy. What's left is a young man trying to honor his family while finding his own path forward. Hope on the horizon. Though life has thrown him challenges far beyond his years, Grayson isn't giving up on hope. He's reportedly considering going into business or even revisiting entertainment, though not in the traditional reality TV sense. There's been talk of him and Savannah developing their own podcast series or digital project, focusing on life after fame, redemption, and family resilience. It's a concept that reflects where Grayson is emotionally, turning pain into purpose. "He wants to inspire people," Savannah said. "He's been through so much, but he still believes in love, faith, and family. That's who he is, learning to smile again." Every now and then, fans catch a glimpse of Grayson laughing again, whether it's goofing off in a TikTok with Savannah or talking about cars and sports. Those moments of light are reminders that healing isn't linear, but it's happening. Grayson's story isn't about scandal, it's about endurance. It's about a son learning that love doesn't fade, even when families are fractured. It's about finding grace in heartbreak and strength in silence. His journey is still unfolding, and though the pain of his parents' conviction may never fully fade, Grayson's tender heart continues to guide him through the storm. He once said quietly on Savannah's podcast, "I just want my family back together one day." It was simple, honest, heartbreaking,